Welcome to Inspired Caregiver with me, Michelle Magner. This is the podcast where people who are helping out their older family members come for information, tips, and inspiration on how to make their journey easier. Enjoy this episode of Inspired Caregiver.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
It's so good to see you. I just started recording. So first of all, I did not read between the lines about the magic door that Papa found. I thought
It's okay.
we were
Joy
still
told
in
me.
transition phase.
Yeah.
And that was not the case.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, honestly, I feel nothing but gratitude and thanks right now. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that was there with him.
Yeah.
And it was like the most, you couldn't have asked for anything more. I'm so thankful. I feel no sorrow. I feel only gratitude.
Wow.
That I was able to be there for him. Because how could anybody else die that's not like that, you know? So many people don't get that on either side.
Right.
And that's how it should be.
What do you think about your experience is what made it so beautiful for you guys? Like how did it play out or unfold?
Yeah.
To be that experience?
I guess I'm probably going to jump around a lot, but I think the first thing I'd like to do is just talk through today, and we can fill in the pieces that don't make sense to you, because it's really important to me that I memorialize this forever.
Yeah.
Because it's a gift. And so I'd like to talk about today, and then we can fill in all the other stuff.
Perfect.
That may not make sense to you. So I left him last night at my parents' cabin. And when I left, I said to Nana, make sure you say good night to him tonight. Okay. And she had, only yesterday opened her own heart to be able to say goodbye to him. And I think that's a lot of what he was waiting for to be able to go. And it was really hard for her. But she did it. And I'm so proud of her for doing that. And so in the evening, after she had already opened up her heart, I said, Nana, make sure to say goodnight to him. Okay. She said, I will, I promise. And I left her and I came over to Joy's, and it was about 9:30, and I knew that it was going to be very difficult for me to sleep, as it has been over the last 4 days, 5 days. I don't know. It's all a time warp now, but I did my best to meditate and listen to Headspace and just try and, because I knew I needed sleep, not just for me, but for Papa, for Nana, for everybody. So the first section of sleep was okay. I didn't have any vivid dreams. The second section of sleep, it started raining really hard, and I woke up around 12:45 with the rain. And my dad has written this book called The Magical Realm, which is this whole incredible series of stories about our life and the cabin and the magic here and the redwood trees. And it is truly a magical realm. And I'd never read this book, which sounds crazy, until this week, because he had published it in December of 16. And that was when I had Lulu, who was 3, Reese was, 6 months. And then 3 months later, I got pregnant with Dylan. So it was just like, I got it from Joy in December for Christmas. And I read the first page and I was like, this is crazy. I need mental space to focus on this. And I have none, and I don't get it. So I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to pick it up and read it when I have time. And then I had got pregnant again, out of nowhere. And so I just never had the time, never picked it up. So this week I've been reading that book. And so just the magical realm is important because it's here. It's this place. It's where we are. It's his world. And I woke up at 12:45 this morning, and I heard the rain, and I knew it was the magical realm crying because Papa was going to go soon. It was just all very clear to me that that was what was happening. And I knew that, and that's okay. And that didn't make me sad. It just made me in awe of it all.
Right.
And so then I knew it wasn't time to wake up, though I couldn't wake up. I didn't have enough energy. So I then put on Headspace again and listened to the breathing app and breathe in for 6, out for, or breathe in for 4, out for 6, and just did that. And I did fall back asleep. But that sleep was very, I don't know if it was deep or light, but my dream from that sleep was Papa. I was sitting next to him where I've been sat the last 4 days. Since I got here, he hasn't been able to speak, but we've been speaking to him and I've been speaking to him.
Mm-hmm.
But in my dream last night, something happened that startled him, and it was like a shock. He shocked up and you could tell it hurt him, but then he could speak to me and he was like, "Thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for taking care of me and being here and holding my hand and talking to me, and for all of you for supporting me." And I said, "Papa, we love you so much." He said, "I know you do. I love you. I love Nana. I love Joy, Claire, everyone." And it was just this, like, he could finally say back the words that he's been wanting to say to me for the last 4 days as I've been talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was able to talk to Joy and Claire before they left. Like, they had that. I came here and he couldn't speak. Like,
Right.
he spoke in the morning, and by the time I landed and got up here, he couldn't speak anymore.
Right.
So it's been this whole, like, I'm talking to you, Papa. I'm pretty sure you hear me. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
He
I
can
know
hear
you're
you.
reacting.
Mm.
But it was like in my own mind, there was that little piece of doubt. Like, can he hear me? Can he not? I read this letter from Morgan to him. Can he hear it? Can he not? You know, like, I'm too late. But I knew that he was hearing it. And so, but this dream was just like this clarity. Like, he told me he heard me. Okay. So that was kick ass and awesome. And I woke up at 3:45 and I remembered the dream and I was like, wow, awesome. Love this whole thing right now. Like, I need to go over there. I want to go over there now. I've been on East Coast time, so it's been fine.
Oh
Like, waking up
yeah.
at 3:45, I'm like, score! It's 6:45. I'm good, like, winning. And but I was like, I'm not quite ready to go. I need to, like, meditate, but I've already meditated, through the sleep. But I now I should do the other one where you're like awake meditation. So I did that, but it was freezing in Joy's house. There's no heat on, so I stayed in bed. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I end up getting up and go over there at like 4:30, and I walk in and I told Nana that she needed to make sure to say goodnight to him. And I walk in and all the lights were down low. She had turned on this radio on the TV, Snape Scope or whatever it's called, and it was like this mystical music, and it was perfect. It was like
Mm.
exactly what she knew what he needed,
Yeah.
and she did it. And I know she said goodbye, and like the fact that she set it up that way, because every other night, like, their Christmas lights have been going on crazy and fucking all that stuff. I'm like, Nana, oh my God, I can't believe you left those on. Holy shit. You know, Papa, sorry. Like, but she had done it, right? She like turned the lights down and put this music on, and it was like perfect. In my head, I walked in and I said, good job, Nana. Like,
Mm-hmm.
good job, Nana. Good job. You did it.
Yeah.
Did it. And so then I come in and I see he's still there, and I was prepared for him not to be there, right? Like, totally, like, and I would have been okay, like, okay. He's still there. His breath is still, like, that's how I've known he's been with us this whole last 4 days. It's not the pulse. I can't find his pulse, right? Like, but I could see his chest rising and dropping, and
Mm.
then a long break, rising, dropping. And then as the days goes on, an even longer pause between the rising. But it's been there, and it was there this morning. So I'm like, okay, he's still here. Fucking A, he's still here. Still
Yeah.
fighting. Okay. That's okay. I mean, okay, we're gonna get through it. So then I wasn't ready to go and be with him quite yet. I said, Papa, I need to eat. And he needs to have some coffee. And then I'm gonna come and be with you. But,
Mm.
like, I just need something. So I went over and did that. And then I came back over and I looked at him and I said, Papa, I'm touching your neck with my hands. It's been so hot. I'm like, my hands are cold and you're so hot. I hope that feels good. I hope that feels good. I'm so sorry that last night and yesterday, because we had a terrible experience changing him with someone who was not qualified to do it, and it was just awful. Just didn't need to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that she didn't know how to do it because she pretended that she did or she thought she did, and I knew it wasn't right, but I thought she was a person that knew, so I let her lead, and it was terrible. And he went through this whole thing yesterday that he didn't need to go through. And I'm so mad about that.
Yeah.
So I said, Papa, I'm so sorry about yesterday. I promise you, I'm so sorry. You're so close. You're doing so well. And I could tell he was reacting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this whole thing. I was looking into his eyes and I was like, there's this whole debate in the last 4 days about ice, fucking ice. Like, do we give him the ice? Do we not give him the ice? Do we give him the ice? Do we not give him the ice? Does he want ice? Does he not want ice? Like,
Right.
and my mom, because she's not really in it, but she wants to be in it. Like she wants to, but she just can't. She doesn't know how. She can't cope.
Right.
It's her way of coping is okay, right? She she wanted to give him the ice chips, but I could tell over the last 4 days, what he's reacting to is not I need ice. It's I need you guys to talk, and I'm here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
listening, and I need you to keep talking. And and he would tell us when he was in pain. He would tell us in the beginning of the week he wanted ice, and I could tell, right, the way he was doing, even though he couldn't talk, right?
Right.
But because he couldn't talk, it's like this question of like, well, I think I know what he wants. I'm pretty sure my gut's right, but maybe it's not. So there's this like self-doubt of maybe he has been telling me he wants ice and he doesn't, and I haven't been giving it to him. And like, well, that's pretty fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I knew he didn't. Not what he fucking wanted.
Right.
Anyway, the point is that I looked at him and I said, Papa, I hope my hands feel good on your neck. I hope that this feels good. And I'm so sorry about yesterday. I wish I could move you up in bed, but you're too heavy and I don't want to hurt you anymore. And I'm sorry I didn't know that your knee was up without a pillow under it. I'm here, the pillow's there. I know it's there and I know I put it there last night, but it should have been there earlier and I'm sorry. And he's just moving his mouth like his mouth is open, but the way he's reacting, the only thing he has left is closing his mouth. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he's saying what I don't know. So I say, Papa, close your mouth if you're in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And he left his mouth open. And I said, Papa, close your mouth if you want ice. And he left his mouth open. And I said, Papa, close your mouth if you're just saying hi to me and that you love me. And he closed his mouth. And I said, okay, I know, I understand now. I see it. I hear you, Papa. I hear you. And I looked into his eyes and I said, I hear you. I hear you. We hear you. You're there. You're there. And I know you will always be there. You will always be there. You're not leaving us. You're just trying to find the door, the right door, and you're going to find it so soon, the door, right? You're finding the door. I know you're finding the right door.
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to do. And we understand that. And you're so close. Keep looking, Papa. You're fighting so hard and you're doing such a good job. And I know you love us and you will never leave us. And I said, I read you that passage. We can bend time. Time is not linear. It's the universe, right? We can bend the universe. You're the universe still. We're the universe still. We will still overlap. We will still bend time. It's okay. We know you'll still be with us, right? Like you will be in the trees. You are in the realm. You're going to your next majestic realm. That's where you're going. We know that. It's okay. It's okay. And he looked at me in my eyes. He was there with me.
Yeah.
He was there with me, and I saw him. His eyes, they were half glazed over, half not glazed over, meaning when he's passed, it's all glazed over. But he was there, and I saw him. He saw me. He heard me. I heard him. And what more could you possibly want? I mean, than to hear each other at that moment. That's it. That's all you want. So he didn't die right then and there. That wasn't like done. It was like, okay, so I've said this. You've said it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's all take some deep breaths, and I'm like talking out loud. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? Okay, got it. Like, let's keep reading. You want to hear me. Like, you want to hear my voice. I get it now. Okay, cool. So let's keep reading the book. Because by the way, Papa, I haven't read the whole book. And okay, I know I always have excuses and I'm really good at excuses, but here's my excuse. Like I had the baby, I had
Tell
Lulu
me.
in, she was 3 and then Reese was, like I was like telling him through all this. And I'm like, and then Dylan came along, remember? Like that was unexpected. So those are my excuses, which I know you'll appreciate my excuses. They're really good excuses, right?
Yeah.
But like, let's keep reading because there's so many lessons in this book. Like, Papa, I had no idea how many lessons were in here. Like, and this is forever. Like, I can read this book forever, and all of your lessons are here. And so I kept reading that, and then I closed the book, and I actually had an email from work, and I read it, and it was a positive email about something I had done. And he always liked to hear about my work and how am I doing. And I'm like, Papa, I just got this email from a guy at work, and he sent it to a bunch of people and he acknowledged me in it as part of my contribution to a small piece. He and his team did a lot of the work, but he acknowledged my piece. And like, this guy previously has never understood the that he's buying currency with me by doing that. Like by him not including me in those emails
Mm-hmm.
or giving me that small mention, he doesn't buy currency with me. And it's crazy how people don't understand that, like. And he's like, Papa, that's what I'm good at. I'm good at the EQ. Like that's what it's amazing. People don't understand that, right? You buy currency. And I said, and Claire didn't even know what EQ meant yesterday because we were all having this conversation. I'm like, she's a typical engineer. She didn't even know what EQ stood for. And I'm like, but she actually is, obviously. And so I was kind of laughing with him about that. And then I was like, Papa, and like, let me tell you about Reese and Lulu and Dylan, because they are like Reese, our middle son, who's 5 or turning 5 in April. I was like, Papa, Reese, we think he's a dog because he likes to go out on our walks, and he gets the biggest stick he can find, like the biggest stick he can find, and he tries to drag it home. And I swear Morgan thinks that like Reese is the reincarnation of his dog Luke from growing up, from his child, exactly what his dog would do. And like, it's just like clearly way too big for him, but still he attempts to like drag it. It's like twice the size of his body, twice his body weight. Like you're never, anyway. So I was telling him this story about Reese. And I was like, the other thing that Reese does, like, it's hilarious, but of course our good friends out east in the Hamptons have told my kids about my good friend Logan I've told my kids about sea glass. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like telling this to him, it's this magical thing that has power and energy. So we've like a beach right down below our house. So every fucking time my kids go down to the beach, they skip over the beautiful rocks, the beautiful shells, the beautiful safe objects, and they get the glass. And there's always been this thing about the glass at the cabin down at the beach. And it like kind of pisses everybody off because you're like, oh, you could step on that and break your foot. And, like, but my kids think it's magical sea glass. So I find it all over my house. And I was telling this to him, I'm like, Papa, it's crazy. So I've had to make a rule of no sea glass in the house. It's out of the house. But I was like, but you know what, Papa? Logan has bought, and she doesn't have any kids yet. She's pregnant now with her first. I was like, Papa, they bought the house across the street, and Logan has promised that the sea glass can come into her house. And so the kids can come and put the sea glass into her house. And I'm like, we'll see how long that lasts for, once you have like a newborn crawling toddler, whatever. But anyway, so I'm like, Papa, their kids are magical, like Lulu and Reese, and they're magical, right? And I need to allow them to have like the creativity. And I was like, Papa, and the lab, we have this electrical room in our house. We built this beautiful house.
Mm-hmm.
They have a playroom. They've got their own room, bunk room, gorgeous. Papa, their favorite place to be? It's in the half-finished electrical closet, which they call the lab. And it's like, they'll go in there for hours. I was like, they'll go in there for hours and they'll get the hammer and the leftover nails from the house and the paint, and we go in there and it's a mess. And Morgan and I, like, we're just like, you know what? I don't even care at this point. Like, go ahead. Like, we're just like, knock yourself out, because clearly, like, they just love it, right? Like, they want to be creative and do, like, they don't want the perfect playroom. They want to go down to the electrical lab, Papa, and be, and so I said, Papa, I promise I'm gonna make the lab a bit safer, and I'm gonna get a place for Reese to, because the other thing I told him was about Reese and the rocks that he gets down from the beach, which are not rocks, they're bricks, old bricks. So they're these fucking ugly old bricks that I also find all over my house, because Reese thinks they're magical. Those are his beautiful rocks, right? And I was telling him, Papa, this, and like, I'm like, Papa, I find bricks in Reese's bed.
Okay.
And like, Papa's a builder, Reese is going to be like an engineer, architect, builder. Like, it's crazy. Like, joy, he's got joy in him. And so, and I was telling him that part, and then I looked up, and because I was kind of like looking, was holding his hand, his head was there, but I was looking past him when I was telling this whole story. But I could sense that, as like in my profile, I could see that his chest wasn't, I'm like, God, I hope this is it. I hope he's gone now. I hope that he's found the door. I think he is. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. He's found it. And I don't want to F it up. Like, if he's not quite there, so I'm like, keep talking. Okay. And I look at him and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is it. It's done. It's just happened. And I gave it 2 minutes and I was alone, and I kept talking, and I was like, I'm going to call Joy. So I called Joy and I said, Joy, I think he's found the door. And we were just, she's like, okay, but I was like, I think, I'm pretty sure. And she's like, well, let's keep talking. I'm like, yeah, good idea, so that he can hear us in case he's not quite there. And so I told her the whole story that I've just told you for an hour, and it was, and then we had to call the hospice place, because then they have to verify that he has actually passed, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, but I can't. I've never, this whole week, I haven't found his pulse. So that's not how I've been tracking him. I've never, since I got here Monday, I've never found a pulse. So like, I've been tracking him this way, and that it is not happening. And I believe it's changed. Like, I feel strongly that he's passed, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. This is this whole running joke in our family forever and ever and ever, because I'm a managing director at JP Morgan. I'm an MD. And so I always talk shit to Eric that I made MD before he made MD, because Eric had to go to like 10 years more than school and whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, Joy, I'm not an MD, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure. And she's just cracking up. She's like, oh my God, Eric will, like, because we'd called the hospice by that point, and they're like, and I had Joy on speaker and I had them on speaker, and they said, well, is his body still warm? And I said, well, I felt him and he was still warm. I said, well, yeah, he's still warm. So, and they said, well, and I said, I can't find a pulse, but I've never been able to find a pulse. And I'm pretty sure, but his body's still warm. So then they're like, okay, we're going to send somebody. So I hung up with them and I started talking to Joy. I'm like, what if I'm wrong? What if he's not? But I'm pretty sure. I think so. Right? I felt it. I think so, but maybe not. And then we started joking about, well, Eric will literally never let me live this one down if he's not. And I've called it and it's not, because I'm not an MD. So we were cracking up about that. So yeah, but I was right. So 6:07 was the time this morning, and that's the time that Joy was like, it makes sense. It's like when he wakes up every day, like he just woke up finally and went to his other realm. Like, that's what he did today. Just he woke up. That's it. And so that, I mean, what else could you ask for? Nothing. I feel nothing but just so thankful. So thankful for my sisters. I mean, I was here for this part, but Joy, she's just, she just did it all. And I don't think we could have done it. I know I couldn't do anything without her.
Mm.
Claire, I mean, we did it together. And we are a team, we are a unit. We love each other. And that's one other thing I told him this morning. I was like, Papa, you raised three incredible women and we love each other so much. And like, what a life achievement. I never truly appreciated that until right now. And these last few days in this whole process, I said to him, what a life achievement, you know? Like, kick ass, Papa,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I don't have sorrow. I don't feel any sorrow because I know he's here. I'm looking at him in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
He's here. So,
Have you finished the book?
no,
There's
I
more
get to go finish it.
more yet.
There's more. Yeah. Which, by the way, what a treat that is. Like, I get to keep learning from him.
Yeah.
I've read half of it. I still get another half,
Yeah.
you know? Like, and he's left these things for us, these tangible things, which so many people need, right? Like, and the other thing I told him was, I want to be Papa. Because Papa isn't, it's not a he, she. Papa just means to me, it just means that you take care of people. You
Mm.
take care of them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I am a Papa. Joy is a Papa. Claire is a Papa.
Mm-hmm.
We're all Papas, you know? So he's here, he's in us. We are Papa. Papa is us. We are one. I am him. He is me. My heart is his heart. Same with them, right? That's the great thing about it. Now, what's so stupid about the whole thing, but it can't, you know, it's all for a reason, right? I've never said any of the words that I said to him this week, as many in the depths and the meaning and the and just the I didn't know how to say the words
Yeah.
before Monday when I got here. The boards were they were there. I've said I love you. I've said all of those things, but you know what? He heard me. He heard me this whole week.
Mm-hmm.
He heard me. He told me he heard me this morning when he started closing his mouth. And the whole time I was telling him all that stuff, he was opening and closing his mouth. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. So I'm so happy that we could talk about it because I have the worst memory in the history of the world. I literally remember nothing. It's crazy. I don't know why. I remember nothing. I mean, I remember when I talk about it, and this whole week has been about like them all reminding me of my childhood, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
don't you remember that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, tell me about that. And then they fill in the blanks and the pieces. And the book, half the book is reminding me about my childhood. Cause like yesterday, after the crazy event with the crazy woman, my friend was here and I was reading the book to both Papa and her. And one of the stories is around him fixing the trail to Oddfellows. And I was like, oh my gosh, Christy. And Christy has been coming up here for like years. Like every summer her family comes, they rent a cabin. Like she's been here forever, right? Not forever, but like 6 years, call it. She's like, how do I not know about this trail to Oddfellows? And I'm like, because I've literally forgotten it. It wasn't in my mind until we started like reading this. And I'm like, Chrissy, she's like, well, we should go. My mom's like, yeah, you should go. Go check out the trail. Like, go. And I'm like, okay, but Chrissy, it's going to be a really long walk. Like, it's a really long walk. And she's like, fine, I got it. I'm cool. Let's do it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Because it's the story that he wrote about it is all about this tree he chopped down, or this redwood tree that fell, and he created a path through it because he was like, who am I to move a tree that's been there 100 years, but I find a solution. Let's create a path through it. So he's built this amazing path. It's real. I can go up there and see it. And so I went and saw it yesterday. And then we're walking over to Oddfellows. In my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be this really long, like hour-long hike. It took us maybe 15 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe max. Because the last time I did it, and Christy's like, you know why you thought this was gonna be super long? Because the last time you did this, you were really little.
Yeah.
And so in your mind, it took a really long time. And I'm like, you're so fucking right. That's crazy. Like, so funny.
I mean, we'll think about going on a walk with your son and him trying to lug the stick, right? So he, his version of the walks is when we would go on these 2-hour walks, right? And I had to carry 50 pounds. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
trail existed till 2 years ago.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
It's like a whole nother world.
It's another world. It's crazy. Like, so yeah, I mean, you know what I'm so happy about? And I told Papa as well. I was like, I am gonna go and I'm gonna take Lulu, because I told him about the path when I came back from it yesterday. I'm like, I went to Oddfellows and I hadn't done that in so long, and I'm gonna take Lulu and she's gonna see the path. Like, because Christy and I are walking, we're like, Layla and Lulu would love this path. Like, how is it that we haven't, like, like, this is the magic. This is all. And so it's like remembering my childhood so that my children can have that same magic. That's what I need. But and they do have a like, kids are magic, right?
Yes.
Kids think bricks are powerful, right? Rocks. And maybe they are. Maybe we're the idiots and they're the right ones. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all energy,
Yeah.
And that's what you and your dad had, was like a energetic spiritual connection this week that transcended roles. And
well, I was born on his birthday, right? So I told Papa that the next 38 years we celebrate him on my birthday, because for the last 38 years I got his birthday. So when I turn 40 in December this year, it will be his first birthday he's had in a long time.
Yeah.
Right? It's cool.
That's really
celebrate.
Yeah.
He is me, I am him. We are all him. So I just want to celebrate him always and never forget. Yeah. So that's my goal. I strive. Not a goal, because it never ends. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Seriously, like, you're part of this too, because I never would have thought to do something like this. Joy was like, you got to talk to Michelle. She can record it. Because I keep telling Joy, I'm like, Joy, you got to remember this, okay? Because we've been talking all week. Like, I don't remember anything. You got to remember this for me, okay? So in 10 years, you can tell me what happened, okay? Okay. Like, it's been this like frantic, like, Joy, I'm telling you about this dream again. Did I tell you about the ice? Did I tell you about the mouth? That like, she's like, you told me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She's like, talk to Michelle. Perfect. So now I don't need to worry, because I told you it. It's okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
It's my privilege.
Special.
Really. It has been quite a journey for your family over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Years, right? Like, I was talking to Morgan about it, and yeah, I mean, my mom has been helping him for 15 years, right? And so it was Morgan's point that just because in the last 4 weeks she can't physically do or mentally be there, she's been there for 15 years. Like,
Yeah.
helping him through this, and 50 years of marriage, not to mention. But
Right.
he's like, think about how annoyed you get with me after 5 days I have a cold, like, like, just, and how is she, and but I'm so happy that yesterday she actually did say goodbye to him. She did, because I think she would have forgotten. She would have not forgotten. She would have regretted that. And she maybe never would have vocalized the regret, but it would have just sat in her chest forever. And she doesn't, that's not part of what she will have to carry now. And that's, I mean, huge, right? Like, so yeah, I'm happy about
It is huge. Well, and
that.
that's, my mission with these conversations and to share them with other people is to allow them to have the opportunity to have an experience that they need to have,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it can be so different and such a different experience. But
Yeah. Everybody has different experience. And Joy and Claire, well, you should interview them, by the way. Like, because Joy's experience of how it was will be different than mine, and Claire's also, and they're feeling different things than I'm feeling right now, but we all complete each other, because I'm not sorrow. I'm not sorrow today, but it's okay if they are sorrow, because I can help them balance that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm never going to be sorrow, because who knows, but for today, you know, it can be one of them, because I'm okay,
yeah,
so like, that's the thing about it, is you just, it's all to it's for us. I know that it happened. Papa was able to leave this world and go to the next in the perfect backdrop of what he needed and what we needed, because we worked together,
hmm
you know so we're really lucky.
I think gratitude is one of the purest vibrations humans can have.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it is.
So I'm
Yeah.
happy that that's the space you're in.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I love your
Awesome.
family. I love all you guys.
We love you too. And I literally haven't seen you in years, but you remind me of my childhood too. So,
Yeah,
like, literally, it's I only have good vibes. So that's good.
good.
And by the way, this has been perfect timing, because I needed this so
Okay.
much, because over there they're taking his body out, and they're um taking it to be donated, which was really important to my mom.
Mm,
And to me, of everything today that has happened, that's the part that I ran away from. And I'm not saying that was weak or anything. It's just that's not ran away. That's the part I didn't want to be part of,
right.
because it felt I don't know totally why yet, because I haven't quite processed that yet, but I felt it immediately. I needed to get out of the house. Like, it was like, I got to get out. All the good stuff right now, I have to get out. It's coming.
Mhm.
I got to go. I have to run. I have to run. I have to come over here. I have to get over here. I have to get over here. And I did. And I'm thankful for that. And I don't think it's because I think it's because I know that he has already left. And I was even okay with, you know, the body laying there, pulled up over, not seeing it. I just kind of ignored, like, just not, I'm not, I had created clearly some kind of like block that it was okay.
Mhm.
I had put walls up around that area, and I made, it's not him, his vessel, different from what it had looked like the last 4 days, right? Like, and that was important to me. And I put walls up. I didn't want any of those walls to come down. So it just felt like I needed to get out of there. And yeah, So I couldn't be there for that part, taking the body out.
Well, you honored yourself. I think that was wise.
Yeah. 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 I didn't want to be there.
No.
Yeah. But I need to like do a lot of breathing. Like I need to go walk in the redwood trees again because
Yeah.
it's all super heavy. Like that part was super heavy, and I need to get rid of that part. I can tell it's there, and I need to let go and let that go, which I will,
Go
because I
feel
don't want
them in
that
the
to stay
tree.
there. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
Well, thank you.
anyway, thank you. It's so nice to see you.
So
I really like. It really is so nice to see you. I hope I get to see you in person soon. But this is in person to me. Like literally, it feels. I've done 1,000,001 Zoom calls for work, and I'm like, I hate Zoom. I hate Zoom.
I'm
Because
so
you
appreciative
don't.
of Zoom. I mean,
I know, but this is great, right? Because it
yeah.
feels like, I mean, there's a connection, and I feel that, and so thank you, and you're the best. Okay, so anyway, we'll talk soon, and talk to Joy and talk to Claire. I think you should do like a
A
series or
series.
whatever. Because it's not complete without there. We're all. I told Papa we're a package deal. I can't remember at what point
Yeah.
we said it, but we're a package deal, so you have to do them too. Okay.
I would be honored. I will reach out.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
All
Love
right. I
you.
love
Sending a big
you.
hug. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.